this is the third segment on these problems that I'm doing. We already took care of the first one in 2 video clips, and this is the more extensive one. Okay, so let me actually go ahead and read that into Catia. So I think it's right here. I already created the step file right there. So Catia file, actually all you need to do is to drag and drop. So let me take this thing and drag it, drop it there. Alright, good. Okay, the first thing you notice is that this is the step file, and it's made of it was made of two pieces. Now these were both this was not an assembly, this was two bodies within a single part that was created in Catia and then saved as a step file. When these are separated from each other, when the bodies are separated from each other, or let me actually put it this way, when you create bodies, then what it does, it creates two dump solids. In other words, this is the one of the dump solids, and this is the other one. Alright, so if you're going to do extraction, we have to do these things separately. Now, by the way, notice that, let me remind you what this thing is. Right now, if I say right click working object, both of them are showing. But if I select this working object, although they're both showing, but I can get one of them disappear from the screen by going here and click on it. Notice that this make the other one disappear, because currently this is the active body, dump solid, and if you say just show me the active body, that's what it is. But if you say show me everything, and show everything. Now if I make this thing as the active body and I click on that, that guy will disappear. Okay, and of course if part body is, well, if you just leave everything to show, everything is shown right here. So let's start with actually this fellow. So let me see now, that's this, and get rid of that so that only this shows up. Alright, first let us use the sketch analysis, or not sketch analysis, the part analysis, to find out how many rounds and how many fillets do we have in this part. So you click on it, it tells you that, okay, first of all, the rounds are shown with these colors. The largest one is red, the smallest one is let's say pinkish, and then as far as the fillets, the largest one is yellow and the smallest one is green. Okay, so the part body is selected, and we say okay, and let me see for a second. Right there, part body 2 is selected, and we say okay, and it gives you information on how many of these do you have. Now it identified 5 rounds, and all 5 of them were colored, and 5 fillets, and all of them were colored. We say okay, and let's find out, where did the 5 rounds come from? Well, okay, look at this, 1, 2, there's this thing in the middle probably, right? So up there I have 1, 2, 3, one on this side. I'm sure, is there one on that side? Yeah, one on that side. So there's 4 of them up there, and this must be 5 then. Okay, so let's try it here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 up there, and the 5th one is here. That's 5 rounds. And as far as the fillets go, you can see that there is 1, 2, 3, and on the back, and then there's this one, and that is where these are coming from. Alright, so we use this. This doesn't do anything except for giving us information. Alright, fine. Okay, so what do we do next? Let us move to extracting these. We're going to do that manually. Okay, this is going to be a rather long process. We're going to do that manually, and so there's the manual extraction. Now notice that if I want to extract the fillets, and there's no distinction between fillet and round when it comes to this, they're all called fillets, then I have to go through a lot of these selections. There's a lot of them. There's, I think, 10 selections, but let's do it anyway. So let's go ahead and do that. So for example, 1, 2, altogether there's going to be 10 because there are 5 rounds and 5 fillets. So this is phase 3. It's actually all linked up together, so that's good. And then this thing, and there's 10 of them as you expected. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you what is the difference between parametric only, remove faces only, or both. If you say remove faces, apply, what it does, it removes these faces, no problem, but you do not have the ability of going and changing those. Here are the faces that are removed. So close, cancel. Where is the undo? Okay, let's try it again. If you say these 10 of them, 1, 2, and that's this, and let's take the ones down here. All right, if you say parametric only, it removed it, fine, but you have the ability of going and changing the size of these fillets. And if you say both, you'll do the remove and you'll do this. So I don't know what particularly the usage of doing both is, but anyway, that's what this thing is about. Okay, so we discussed the issue of the fillet and remove faces or both. Okay, all right, we close this. I noticed there's a chamfer here, so let's do this. Chamfer, and now here, for example, you can see it, but there may be a situation where you can't see it, and doing it this way is not efficient. You may want to do it automatically. So apply, and it's the same thing with, by the way, the remove faces or parametric. Apply, notice that this is gone and there's a chamfer here. So as it works its way up, it's the most recent one. So close that. Okay, we did this. Let us go and recognize the holes. Now, there are you can recognize several holes, 1, and then there's 2, and then there's 3, but this one actually was done as a yeah, this one was a hole, and this one was done as a pocket, I believe, but it really doesn't matter. So let me try first doing it as a hole. Let me do this thing as a hole, although it was done as a pocket, but let me try it as a hole. So let's try there's one here. This doesn't go all the way through, it stops there. As a matter of fact, you can see that this one was a V ending. Okay, okay, so these faces, you may want to try to see if you don't pick those faces what's going to happen. Let's check it. All right, so that one didn't oh, the fillet, I meant the hole, sorry, not the fillet. So hole right there. Okay, hole. Let's try it again. So notice that as soon as I picked it, it also picked those end faces. Okay, so apply. There we are. It's recognized it as a hole. And let's try another one. I think I want to do that one also as a hole. So Yeah, let me try this one too. That's gone. So there's two holes here. Let's play with this a little bit. If you go to this guy, this hole, this was all the way through. We can, yeah, this was all the way through, and this other one was had the diameter 1 and depth of 1, and the type of it was actually, right now it is simple. Right now it is, no, it's not simple. So let's check that for a second. The type is blind, the depth of is 1, and the type is simple. Let's change this thing to tapered. And if you go there, it's probably a tapered one. So define in work object, you can see that. You can easily change that. So I'm gonna undo this thing, put it back to the type. I'm gonna put it back to I think it was simple. Yeah. Alright, good. Let's go back to the dump solid. Alright, what else can we do? Okay, let's come down here. Okay. So let's try to get this thing as a pocket. So we click on that, pocket, and here's what I'm going to do. For example, I'm going to try this. Oh, oops, not that one. This face, and when you say apply, it will fail. Okay, so let me remove this. Let me try that bottom face. Apply, gone. You see, it saw that as a pocket all the way to that point. Okay. Let's try a different way of doing this thing, see how that will pan out. So let me undo this, pocket, this, but up to that face. Let's see if it will work. It won't do it. So there is no choice but to just go ahead and do it the way we did it originally. So this is close. So it's a pocket and this, and let it work it out. Okay, good. And now we can recognize this pocket, apply, there we are. Okay, now here we can recognize this thing as a pad. I already warned you in the previous videos that there are no magic ways of doing these things. Some may work, some may look reasonable, but they will not work. Let's try. What I'm going to do, by the way, let me undo this. This last pocket that we did it as two pockets. Let me do it a different way for you. So I'm going to undo this. There. Instead of doing it as two pockets, the alternative would have been as a Boolean. Okay, as a Boolean, and for the Boolean, for example, you can select this face. Okay, and chain faces. Okay, let me do it a different way. Let me undo this. Okay, cancel that. Boolean. Okay. Select the bottom face, and then chain faces up to this face. Notice that when I took that bottom and said change faces up to this face, it actually picked up all that stuff, and you say apply, and it did it. So it's extracted as a Boolean. And if you want to see that, all you need to do is in work object. Okay, let me hide this. Hide this for you. Where is this? Hide and show. That's not what I want to show you. So this is what I want to show you. Just a second. Object. There. You see that? So instead of two pockets, we did it as a Boolean in one shot. So if you took that previous part and removed that from it, you would end up with the same geometry that we had a while ago. So I'll keep it like this, right? Instead of doing two pockets, I'll keep it like that. I'm not going to bother changing it. Okay, so let's move on and do the rest of these things. Okay, so first of all, show me everything. There we are. And the dump solid is right here. We make it active because we want to extract more stuff. I don't want to see this. Okay, so I don't want to see that. This is obviously a path. So you go to manual and you say a pad and you select this and you say okay, and it's gone. So there's your pad. Okay, now the next one is a little bit tricky because this one it won't be a pad, but I can see it as a draft, and you got to play with it for a few times before you can get it probably to work. So notice that for the face, selected face is this face, and for the neutral element is down here, because notice that this is not a pad, it's a draft. It starts out there and it becomes narrowed on the top. So this is what we call neutral face. Okay, now let's see what happened. See whether it's going to work or not. Probably not. Yeah, you can see that. All right, it's looked reasonable, but it's not working. So let me clear this, and we're going to do that differently. Let me clear this. Can I clear that here? Okay, close that and do it again. So there we are. So this time, here's what I'm going to do. For the what is that, draft, I select this face and that face, and for the neutral element I select the bottom here and apply. Gone. You see, I mean, something like that is not trivial, and the only way is to play with a whole bunch of these things, and eventually you get the hang of it. So I will come back and do this thing a different way though. So we close that, and this is obviously a pad. There we are. Apply, and it's gone. Okay, so this is the only piece that's remaining. I can actually make this thing a pad, but there's something I want to show you. Let me undo this, the last few things since the draft. So you can also I don't know what happens if you delete it, but anyway, we go here. Okay, let's try to extract this thing a different way. So you click on it, do it as a Boolean, and the Boolean is, these are the faces that you are selecting, and chain the faces up to this bottom face. In other words, extract that as a Boolean all the way to that blue face. There, see, we now have two Booleans. And if you close this thing, let me see for a second. This is the last one. So working object, you can see that. There we are. Okay, let's go and do this thing. Let's go and do this this thing as a pad. so that it's going to be completely parameterized. It's done. No more solid body, at least for this piece. Okay, now I'm going to cancel this. I'm going to undo that. Okay, so I took that pad out, because you could have done this thing a different way. You could have done a pad from here, goes there, and then another pad, for example this. So there were different ways of doing this thing. Okay, what else do I want to do here? Just 1 second. Okay, so close that, and let's get the other one in. So this is the one that you want to get. Okay, and this is a dump solid. It's right here. You click on it. Now it looks like this must be a shaft, and for the faces, so well, I'm going to select one of these, and then whatever I can get my hands on to make that object, and apply, and of course it's completely parameterized right there. The dump solid is gone. Let's see, I think we're getting to the end of this tutorial. It requires some exploration by yourself, but there is one other. Oh, I want to show you what happened if we had done this thing automatically. So I'm going to close this. Let's bring that step file again. It's right here. This is what we had. There are two parts, as you know. One is here, the other one is there. So let's actually concentrate on this one. Okay, and then we do automatic. Okay, this is telling you that your dump solid part must be active, which it is right now. And we go automatic, and here we have to well, first of all say do local feature recognition, do everything that you can, and chain your well, first of all, you got to be careful here, because what are the things what are the faces that you want to select? So I'll do this, and I'll do that, and on this side, and on that side, and on that side, probably the bottom two. Okay, and then chain it up to face. Which face? This face, and that face, and that face. All right, let's try it. Now notice that it extracted some stuff. It extracted the hole, it extracted chamfer, some edge fillet, but not everything. Okay, so let me see for a second. We could have done a better job by selecting different faces. So let's so it did, but then you have to undo the rest. So close that and cancel. So I'm going to do this thing differently. Where is this undo? Okay, we're back to square one. Automatic, except that for the faces, I'm going to select local feature recognition, do all of them, and then for the selected faces, I'm going to try these, this, and that, and that, and these things, and this, and that. Okay, how about these faces? There, do you have anything there? Yeah, probably. Okay, and C, and perhaps this, maybe even the bottom, and then chain them up to that face. And then apply. Okay, look. You know, this, as I said, there are no magic rules of doing these things, but if you practice with it and you get the hang of it, hopefully everything will work out. Just doing it manually is not very efficient when the part becomes very complicated. Alright folks, so this was a rather long tutorial.